Welcome, everybody, to Catfish Weekly, presented by Catfish Clothing, along with the Dr. Tim Lang. I'm Lyle Stokes. Cindy is here to spin the RigRap prize wheel. Doc, it's been a different kind of weekend. We had some rain for a change.
Yeah, and it hasn't been as hot. So I worked all weekend, so I just stayed in the air conditioning. I was out for a little bit, but early in the morning, but by the afternoon, I stayed inside.
It was pretty hot here today, but we got some rain coming in later in the week, so that'll be all right. I have a surprise message from Sarah with Yakking with Sarah. They're doing the trash pickup tournament. And as it stands right now, they have a total of 596 pounds of weight and 22 bags that's not been weighed yet.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's really bad. That's bad when you see that.
It is bad, but look at all the people that are jumping in and doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, there's some prizes involved with it, but pretty much this is just a bunch of people going out doing the right things and cleaning up behind the guys that don't do the right things. And it's just a pretty neat deal. I'm really glad that she put that on. I think it's a great deal. You know, we ought to all pick up after each other, I guess. Some of them can't pick up after themselves every time we go out, but I hope she makes this a yearly event.
Yeah, it was a really good idea.
It really is a good idea. I thought it was when she told me about it, and I still believe it to be. So bless her heart for doing it. I think it's just really, really cool. Ron Presley, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. Kind of recovering from ICAST and starting a new week.
Well, you know, one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on the show with us tonight is kind of explain how ICAST works, because there's a lot of people that hear about it every year, but I think there's a lot of people that don't understand it's really not open to the public, and but there is a lot of cool things that go on down there.
Oh, you know, it's such an event. It's billed as the world's largest sport fishing trade show. So it's a trade show. It is not a consumer show. But, you know, if anybody ever gets a chance to go in one way or another, there's different ways that can happen. So if they ever get a chance to go, you want to go try it. I actually went and when I knew I was going to be on there, I went and dug up some statistics for you. There were more than 15,000 registered guests.
15,000.
15,000.
This is 3 days, right?
Yeah, that included 1,200 that came from 71 different countries. So it's a very international type of event as well. And this facility over there is huge. It's the Orange County Convention Center, which is Orlando is in Orange County. And the particular building that we were in, and we were using only part of it, it's called the North-South Concourse. And we were in the South Concourse, 220,000 net square feet of space. And they set up 626 exhibitors in that space. And
wow.
I hope some of you saw that little drive around I did over there, maybe. I haven't looked back at that myself, but I'd heard that it had sound problems and other things. But if you could even see what was going on, you'd see there'd be a little 10-foot booth, and then there'd be one that's about a half a block square. Some of those really big companies, and the big like the kayak companies, they're all spread out all over everywhere. But it's just an incredible show. The main thing is for the producers to show and sell their goods to retail and wholesale buyers. You can kind of tell what it's set up for. There's a link. If you Google ICAST badges, you'll find a little explanation in there about what all the various badges are. You have to be badged to get in the door. I go as a media member. That's what and people know because they're color coded. When I walk up to a booth, they know I'm media, and you know, if they're wanting to sell something to a buyer, they may not want to talk to me, but they all do. It's all very, very friendly and cooperative. But the other part of it that people might be interested in knowing about is what they call the new product showcase. And that's where the companies that have developed a new product within the last year or so will bring them and introduce them to the public, to the buyers. Sometimes those products won't even be available on the market, but they're in production, they're in the design phase or whatever. And this year, there were 974 products that they considered new. Wow. in that show. That's just an awful lot. And those 974 products came from 331 companies. So just incredible. But the media actually votes and buyers vote on the best of show. So they have those locked up more or less in a fenced-in area that the manufacturers can't even get in there. Only the media and only the voting members can get in there to vote on them. So you can go through there and vote on all those different ones. And there's 25 categories of that. So that's kind of a big deal in itself. Walking through that new product showcase, I saw immediately one item. I thought, well, now this is going to be good for catfish people. And what it was a T-bar scale, a digital scale. Goes up to 110 pounds, but it had handles that folded down and up. So you could fold those up and really get a hold of a big fish or a weigh bag or a net or however people want to do them. Because I've seen people struggle a lot with trying to weigh some of those big fish. And I did stop by and talk to those people at their booth and told them, but they had they didn't have a hook on it. They had can't think of the name of what they call those things. Got the little flipper it's like a hook. It flips and hooks onto something and flips back.
Carabiner.
They had a carabiner on. I said, you're going to want to get rid of that probably and put a hook on it. But anyway, it's just stuff like that. You never know. And of course, those people were not thinking about catfishing at all. I mean, most of them are not. And that's the thing about ICAST. It's still low on catfish specific kinds of things. Mm-hmm. Maybe some of the viewers might have questions too, and we can go into that. But
you and I talked about that this morning. I think that ICAST is a golden opportunity for a lot of the businesses in the catfish industry that they're missing out on.
Yes, I would think so. Somehow we need to let people know. I don't know how we do it. They're not discovering catfishing very quickly. I think a lot of those companies that are there, and even companies that are already wanting to buy stuff. I mean, there's lots of products there that aren't branded for catfish, but are good for catfishing. So, I don't know why we don't get more catfish people there.
If I'm correct, and you can help me with this, Whisker Seeker, Team Catfish is the big ones, and B&M Rods are the main big catfish specific type companies that there. Of course, B&M does a lot of things besides just fishing rods.
Yeah.
But those are the three major corporations that was there. And now I do know that you and Matthew Miles and two or three other guys was down there. Chris Otters was there, and Jeremy Coe was there for the catfish industry. But I'm a little shocked that there's not more people every year. Of course, every year I find out about it too late and we don't get to go. But I just to be such a large event and only to have such a small amount of catfish and people show up. And I know it's not open to the public, but still. I'm a little put out that more people are not showing more interest in this event.
Well, I would like to see that happen. I'd like more people to show interest in it, just as I'd like more people to show interest in Catfish Now. It's those kinds of people that are there that can make a big difference in where the catfish industry goes.
I agree.
So, if we have better showings there to let people know what's going on out there in the catfish world, I think that it would help. I just think it would help. I mean, these are the same kind of people that can help support tournaments and help support other events. So Yeah, and maybe people don't know about it either. You know,
Well, that could be. You know, until a couple of years ago, I never knew about ICAST at all.
well, that's mainly, I think, because it was a bass and a freshwater fish. Otherwise, you know, walleye and crappie, and just the the normal uh, mainstream kind of fishes. But catfishing has grown so much over the last few years that people are starting to notice.
Yep, they are, and it has really picked up. You know, Doc and I have talked about this a number of times. Him and I have both been doing this for several years, and it used to be you go fish a catfish tournament. It was a race to whoever was loading grain in a barge, and you was fishing for 5 little channel cat. And we started because it was rare that you caught a big fish, and nobody knew how to do it consistently back in those days. But it picked up pretty shortly after that.
Yeah. And the methods have changed too. That's made catching more big catfish.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know.
And the electronics we have now, it sure is different than old flashers we used to use in
Yeah. Glenn made a comment on here. He said, in comparison, the catfish market segment is much smaller than many of the other segments. That's why you see the concentration of products aimed either to the overall market or to the bass market. So yeah, and you know, the catfish market, the thing of it is with the catfish people, once we find something that we like, we very seldom change. You know, I've got the reels, they're not making a lot of money off of me because I've got my reels are 20, 25 years old.
Yeah.
But I keep, you know, I don't go for the really good stuff out there. I mean, I've got my reels are in good shape. They do what I want to do, and I'm not going to change. I mean, that's the way I am.
Yeah. We bought the line counter reels, and I had a couple of line counter reels, but that's the biggest advancement I have. Some of the so-called high dollar reels are super reels that a lot of these guys are using. I've yet to find one that's even remotely smooth enough for me to put on a rod. Craig Shoemate and I was at a store, met up at a store a few years ago, and they just got a shipment of them in, and I'm not going to go into brand names or nothing, but everybody seems to think they're such a great deal. We opened every box in that shipment, and I told him, I said, I've never owned one of these. I never seen one smooth yet. He said, I never seen any like this, and every one of them was rough. And, you know, they pretty expensive reels. A lot of guys use them. And I was done with them right then. I'd never put one in my boats. That's why I stick with Abu Garcia. They're all smooth. They're all easy to work on, and I don't have no trouble with them.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, Doc. I think catfish anglers do tend to find something they like and like to stick with it.
Absolutely. Unless it's left-handed. I can't do them left-handed reels, Doc.
I remember when I was a guy, you know, you'd get some client on the boat and they'd want to change it to left-handed, and then if they handed me to do something, man, I was out of that just ain't right.
Well, the newest stuff that I have are my offshore planer boards. That's probably the newest thing I've got on board my boat.
Doc, when did you start using planer boards?
Well, I've been using planer boards for 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah, a good 15 years.
But the newest thing you got on there is planer boards.
Yeah, but I'm using them a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm using back 15 years ago, I used a planer board to keep the line. You know, all we did back years ago was anchor down, and then you throw your lines out, and then what would happen is the current would pull all the lines together. Well, I was using planer boards to keep that outside line to the outside so they wouldn't come together. And I wasn't using the planer board to suspend. I was just using the planer board out there. And I think it was last year or the year before with Lyle and Cindy, I was using planer boards to keep that line to that outside if we were anchored down.
Yeah, right.
So,
well, I just kind of feel I have myself decided that planer boards were one of the best kept secrets in catfishing.
Absolutely.
I think nobody was talking about them, but I come to discover almost everybody had them.
Yeah.
As I talked to them. So it wasn't like a new thing.
I think everybody was not telling anybody about them. I don't think
Yeah.
they were just keeping it by themselves. And then when the word got out, it had to be brought up then.
Yeah.
When I first started outdoor writing, catfish didn't have anything to do with it, but I was writing crappie stories. And one year, a fella from Wisconsin, a walleye fisherman, came down and won the Crappie Masters Classic with planer boards. Man, the next year, every crappie boat in the tournament had planer boards on it, and now they're quite common.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt like happened with catfish a little bit.
They don't work every time, but they sure make a difference. We say we spin a wheel, Doc.
Yep, sounds good. 20 after.
Ron, will you pick me out a number between 1 and 5?
I'm going to give you 2.
I like 2. That's one of my favorites.
I know there's one you like better.
That's right. David Funk. David lives out your way, don't he, Doc?
Yeah, yes, he is here over in Columbus. He's in chat too.
All righty then. Let's see what we can do with David tonight. Catfish Clothing. David, if you'll contact Matthew Miles at Catfish Clothing, tell him you hit the prize wheel on Catfish Weekly. He will hook you up with some cool products. Great company that sponsors our show. And thank you for watching Catfish Weekly and playing the RigRap prize wheel game.
Congratulations. That's a good one. Catfish with a K.
Yep, that is correct.
Hey, Lyle, Carl Wells just posted, and I mean, this is a lot of times people don't know who is on that wheel. He says, who's on the wheel so we can thank them?
Well, let's just go through that. We have Catfish Clothing, which just was a winner. Hooker's Terminal Tackle is actually on the wheel twice, once with the reefer hooks and once with the Mad Catter hook. So it depends on which piece of the pie you hit, what product of theirs
they're going to get. Yeah.
Offshore tackle planer boards, a Bass and More bait and tackle in Owensboro, Kentucky, Catfish Now magazine, which Ron has wrote some really good articles about some of the winners on our show, and some of them don't want them, Ron, and that's okay, but they at least get the opportunity. It's still a great idea, and it works out really good for us.
I've had fun writing stories about people on there. We haven't had one in a while. We need to win one. We need to get one.
Tonight would be a good night for that. We have Easy Sinker Slides from RigRap, which is one of the neatest inventions I've ever been associated with, and it's a great product. Mud Bum Supply Shack, the boys up in Iowa, they have a fully stocked store up there. You can order anything catfishing you want from them, and a lot of camping gear and all kinds of other stuff. So give them boys a shout. Bite Lights, got it right, Glenn. Got it right, Glenn. Another product from RigRap that you can order. Whisker Sticks Lights has been with us, Doc, for how long?
Ever since he opened his business, because we got him started on Catfish Weekly.
You and him had a deal working. He sent us both a couple of them lights, and I still have
that was it.
Ones that he sent me.
Yeah, I've got and I'll show everybody later, but I got a whole coffee jar full of them.
Tim Hardwick and his family runs a great little business with some really good products, so be sure and holler at them. Of course, RigRap, Glenn does so much for the sport of catfishing. People don't realize that he's involved, not just catfishing, he's involved with other stuff too, but he has some really neat products. And don't forget, there is a couple of the rig packs left. If you hurry, you might be able to get in on the first 100 deal he has going. I haven't talked to him today, so I don't know if there's any left. There was only a couple left. If you're interested in one of them rig packs, please go ahead and get your order in today.
Tim said 2 years, Lyle.
2 years. I knew it'd been quite a while.
Yeah.
River Rats Reel Cleaning. He's the guy that helps Jody and Daniel with Winter Blues on Wheeler. He does some fabulous work. He cleans and repairs fishing reels down there. If you send them to him, he can clean them, repair them, do some trick stuff to them. Does a bang-up job. He's extremely reasonable. He's fast, and he don't charge much at all. So. And
he said he always catches big fish after he cleans a reel.
That's right.
A clean reel is a big fish reel.
That's the kind I like. Demon Dragons, Captain Scott Manning, Tennessee River Monsters. If you have any need or think that you need to try one, which if you haven't, you need to contact Captain Scott Manning, and he'll hook you up with some Demon Dragons. It's a great product for suspended baits. They got some really loud rattles in them. They work really well for suspended bait off the bottom. Structure snakes. These are one of the best dragon weight systems that I have found. Doc, I don't know if you've tried them yet, but we have drug every kind of dragon style weight on the rivers and on the lakes that we've fished. I have yet to lose one of these. I pull them right through the trees. I made the ones that Larry Steve talked about and done the video about after he told us about them on our show. I made them from short ones, and I know you've made some short ones. I made some 3 foot long so I could get through them big troop balls and stuff. But these structure snakes works as good or better than anything that I've ever built or tried. So be sure to contact Mr. Jackson about those. And that's it for now.
Yeah, and then we've got other people that support us.
That's right.
You know, that's not even on the wheel.
And we got some new stuff coming up. We have some new stuff coming up. We have Dustin Fall with the rod rack and the live wells.
Yeah.
You know, we're scheduled to have Dustin on the show with us next week. I got to talk with him tonight to make sure we have another guest that we got to get on here. He's got a big tournament coming up, so we want to make sure we get the right weeks gathered up for whichever works out for the two of them. But Dustin's going to be on here and tell us about rod racks and live wells and how you can get them. And it'll be an exciting show to have him on here.
Now, Ron, I got to say it before I forget. One of the things I saw you post was, I think it was called an RTD, or is it a rod threading device? Tell us about that.
Threading device, yeah. Well, you know, the first time I saw that thing, I thought, now here's another one that's going to be around about 6 months and gone. But I'm not so sure now that I saw it in action. And basically, what that little device does is, it has a little place to hook your line on. Like, you could hook it off the spool of your reel, or you could hook it off the spool of line that you're going to put on the reel. In other words, it works both ways. It'll either go up or down. And when you line it up, it's got a little line. I don't know if you can see anything that I'm showing here. A little thing that goes on your pole and just kind of lines it up. So when you hit that first eye, you can almost do it without looking, and you can just run that thing to the end and pull the line right through it.
Yeah, I watched him do it. I mean, it went right up through there.
Yeah, and I actually have a video of that, and I haven't got it posted yet. But I will. Well, wait a minute. I do have that posted.
You did post it.
Yeah, Google YouTube, Ron Presley YouTube, and you'll see it on there. Actually, I posted that on Facebook yesterday, I believe, too. So you might find it there. But if you'll Google Ron Presley YouTube, it'll be right there as the last one I did. It's pretty amazing. It really is. Rod threading device. And the thing actually has what he calls a module. So if you got different size eyes, you have to use it.
You can change it out.
So it will fit different eyes. What he was demonstrating on was one of those bass casting rods that has eyes no bigger than nothing, really, you know. And of course, he may be doing that because that'd be the harder ones to thread, you know, those little bitty jobs.
Yeah.
But it absolutely did work so smooth that I could see myself using it. I really could. And
it looked like it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it actually is not available yet. It's one of those products that they were trying to test out and all. But yeah, I like that one. I really did. RTD.
Now, Ron, if I'm correct, didn't Jason with B&M Poles have a new rod they're coming out with that's not available yet that he was showing everybody down there?
Yes, he was. They've got a new E-glass rod, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know it's got the not the cork grip, but the other one. Got a aluminum reel seat, I think he said, and stainless steel eyes, and a glowing tip. Got some kind of a glow thing on the tip, but Yeah, he introduced that, or B&M introduced that down there, and I guess it'll be out soon.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. It takes a little while to get all that stuff figured out and get production. Yeah, it's quite the deal.
Yeah. One of the other companies that's there that we would all recognize was TTI Blakemore. We don't necessarily recognize that, but we recognize Daiichi hooks.
Yeah.
Real, that real spray that they use, you know. They were showing stuff. Now they have a new crappie rig out. But when I saw it, I thought, well, that would catch bait. You know what the standout hook is that they have? It's got that crooked catch in it, so
it's got that
turns when you. They have dressed it with some fly-like material and actually made a drop shot hook out of it. They call it the drop shot, I think they call it. But that's something new they've got, and I thought, man, that would catch. I see old Dieter catching those white perch right straight down off his boat, and I'm thinking, boy, this thing would work like a charm for that right there. I don't know. You just rig it like a drop shot rig, and you don't have to put a rubber on it or anything.
That's right. Jordan Lear, to sign up for the RigRap prize wheel drawing, you have to go to catfishweekly.com and sign up on our website each week, and you'll be entered in the drawing.
I'm looking here. Yeah, I'm looking in chat, making sure that.
Dang, Ron watches my videos. Well, sure.
You mentioned Sarah a while ago. I'll give her a shout out. I have collected my first bag of trash, and it started raining, so I ain't got it weighed yet. I'll be getting that entered for the trash collector tournament. Oh, and then I actually run into Randy from Drop Hook. That's the app side of her trash collector tournament, and we did a little video from ICAST on the tournament.
Well, that's a great event she's got going. I really think it's going to be something that we'll always look forward to every year. Hey, Stacy Gaston, how are you? Bradley Young, winner of the big tournament over in St. Joseph, Missouri over the weekend. Congratulations, Brad.
Yeah, you get that video loaded up. All right, here's the first question. Ron Presley, what do you think about the Bill Dance Catfish Expo, and is it bad for the Catfish Conference? At Dieter Melhorn.
That's when I saw that, I was pretty excited, I got to say, because that just sounds like one more indication that the catfish industry is growing. I would hope there's room for both. I don't know. They're not at the same time, although they are kind of close, I believe.
Yes.
But
yeah, one's in February and the second one's in March.
I would like to see them have several of them throughout the year in different areas across the United States. Myself personally, catfishing is big enough it can support it. It'd just be a better deal for everybody.
Well, Quentin Robbins did a real nice video talking about that.
Yes, he did.
You know, that was a good video that he put out.
Yes, he's done a really good job on that. I seen it right after he posted it. It was very well done.
Brian Wagner wants to know, Ron, what is your favorite body of water to fish? Did you hear me, Ron? Did we lose him live?
I don't know. He looks like he's froze up. I think he might be. I believe he is.
Yeah,
we lost him there. He'll be back in here in a minute, probably.
Yeah, he's.
Well, while we're waiting on Ron, what do you say we spin the old RigRap prize wheel again?
Yep, sounds good. Let's go with number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The winner is Patrick Bryant, Bryant. Let's see what we can do for Patrick tonight. Offshore tackle. Patrick, if you will send me after the show, send me your address. I have a prize for you from Offshore Tackle, and we will get it out of the mail tomorrow and send it on your way. I will need your name and address, and we'd like to thank you for watching Catfish Weekly and playing the RigRap Prize Wheel game. We really did lose old Ron. Maybe he'll get back in here in just a minute.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
Just a matter of him coming back. I'm trying to keep up with chat. I'm actually right now. Wow, man, there's a bunch of people in chat.
Yeah, there is. For all you guys that's watching our show tonight, if you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe to our channel and join our Facebook page. It means so much. We get a few perks out of it, which means that they put our name in front of it on top of pages when people do searches for catfishing stuff, and we would surely appreciate that if you would. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. All that stuff goes into the matters of what makes you get to the top of each page and different page. I don't know how many's in chat. Do you, Doc?
81.
81. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I'm not.
Yeah, they kind of come and go. And,
Yeah.
I seen some of the guys posted that they had to go back to work or.
Well, and that's part of it. A lot of people watch us during their lunch breaks or on lunch or different times of day. There's Ron's back.
Hey, did you miss me?
Yes, sir, we did.
All right. Okay, so while you were gone, we had a question.
I got back in. My computer just went to sleep.
Yeah. So while you were gone, we had a question come up, and they want to know what your favorite body of water to fish is.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to say Wheeler just because that's where my first investment. I like Wilson a whole lot too because that's the first place I ever catfish at all. So I like that area right there, Wilson, Wheeler.
I know another favorite, and that's Tennessee River, because I've seen you catch some big flatheads on the Tennessee River.
Yeah, well, and I think of all of those as the Tennessee River kind of.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go down around Chattanooga in the first part of August. I'm looking forward to that. Probably Chickamauga.
Oh, that's good. That's a good place to fish.
Oh, Ty Conkle over there, he gets on them flatheads.
Let's see if nope, don't see any other questions.
Did I get, I don't know what you heard and you did. Did we get through that question on the Bill Dance World Catfish Expo?
Yeah, I think pretty much.
Yeah.
I hope there's room for everybody,
Oh, there's plenty of room. Plenty of room. I think they'll both be great events. I'm looking forward to both of them. I just think we'll have a good time. We always do.
Actually, Bill Dance and Leslie were at ICAST, and I know some of course, Bill's always there, but some of what they were doing was probably working for that expo that's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
David Funk wants to know, Ron, what's your personal best flathead?
Flathead, I believe it is 46.
Great fish.
It's not what it used to be, but I think it's 46. And when I caught that fish, actually, I think I'd caught like a 30-something the day before, and man, I fell in love with flatheads right there because I'd never really caught a big flathead before, and the way they fight and all that's super. But then ended up beating it the next day.
Yeah.
Now my blue is 83.
Oh, wow.
That's a great fish too.
Cad Daly down there on the Tennessee River again. Yeah, well, that was Wheeler. Yeah. Chris fishing with Cad Daly and Chris Parker that
day. James Dockery. Oh, that's for Lyle.
No,
Hey,
sir.
Lyle.
I have not heard anything more about that yet, James. I'm still waiting on them to get back to me. Seen another one a while ago, but I'll go back here if I can find it.
Yeah, I'm
Cliff,
trying to find.
Cliff, we are trying to get our boat finished up. We got the live well. All the parts come in to hook it up. So my back gets to feeling like we're going to knock it out tomorrow, or try to, and try to get the live well hooked up. And we'll be ready to go.
You're not talking about knocking your back out. You're talking about knocking the live well out.
Yeah, getting it hooked up. I've got all the, the back's already about as far out as it can stand. It don't get better pretty quick. We're going to be going back to Columbia and get another shot or two, but that's all we have left to do. We had to order all the stuff to plumb it, the original stuff. We're hooking it up into the original plumbing in the boat. So you just turn on the stuff that comes from the factory in the boat, and it'll fill that big live well up, and instead of the small one in the back. And then that way, if you don't want that in there, you can remove the big one, hook it back up to the small one. You have just what you had to start with. So all the stuff come in. We had to get longer hose and a couple of connections. And other than that, it should be great. I'm excited to get ready to go. But it looks like at this time, it looks like Caruthersville will be our next tournament.
Dwayne Buckridge wants to know, Ron, what is Ron's favorite catfish event to attend? I heard him.
I guess probably the most exciting thing that I've attended so far would probably be Mississippi River Monsters. Because I got to spend a whole week there and, got to do more than just the weigh-in. I got to fish with some people and so on. So that really has been a good event. It's in a good location. And, of course, Bill Dance, get to deal with him a little bit. So I suppose that tournament was about as good as any. I'm looking forward to Cabela's Classic this year. I just have a feeling it might be pretty good. They've got a big music show going on and this and that. I've never been to Indiana, so another thing about what I do, it gives me an opportunity to travel around, and it's a good and a bad thing because living down here in Florida, everything is so far away where the good catfishing is. So
that's true.
It requires some travel, but
I didn't realize how far away you really are. You're a long way from anybody.
Oh yeah, and there, we have channel cat here in the St. Johns River, and that's just about it as far as catfish go. Until you get down in the Panhandle, there aren't any big fish. But we'll just take Glenn Flowers for example. He's about 7 hours away from me.
Wow.
And we both live in Florida, so that Panhandle just goes on and on out there.
That's people don't realize how long and drawn out Florida is.
You go across that top and you change time zones there as you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Sorry about my dog. There's somebody at the door.
Uh-oh.
You hear it?
Luke doing his job.
Luke's going crazy. Let's go.
Captain Mad Jack.
Ron, will you be at the Captain Mad Jack's tournament next month?
I didn't hit me again. I didn't hear. Well,
I said, will you be at the Captain Mad Jack's tournament next month?
oh no, I won't be able to make that. I have got a lot of traveling on the schedule. Some of the Mississippi River Monsters, some of the things start. Just a regular tournament, I don't think I've got on my schedule at all. So I have to cover a lot of those just by the goodwill of the fishermen. I'll email them or message them some way and get reports and so on. And pick up the information that way. And still, it's something, it just reminds me of something since I started writing in the Catfish area. Every week I learn there's so much more out there. There's no way to even start to cover everything that's going on. And it's just another sign that this industry is growing, I think.
Yeah, it is. That's
going to get bigger and bigger. And that goes right back to that Catfish conference and expo thing. I think there's going to be plenty of people out there. I don't know how long it'll take to get where it's really significant, but it's going to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay, Ron, we're going to give something away here in the chat room. And what I need you to do is, well, boy, they backed right off. We got 50 people in chat room. So give me a number from 1 to 50 and we'll pick a winner.
Who's going to be number 27?
Number 27 is Patrick Bryant. Patrick Bryant.
He just won, Doc. He can only win once every 30 days.
Okay. So give me another number.
Let's take to 35.
35. Joe Burkhart. Joe Burkhart, get with Doc after the show here. Send me your name and address, and
Yep.
I'll get you a prize pack out from Offshore Tackle.
Joe hasn't won in several months.
Well, tonight he is a winner.
Tonight is the night. That's awesome. You think catfishing is bigger than bass fishing? Absolutely not. As far as dollars of revenue, no ways near close. But in our state of Missouri, catfish is the #1 fish fished for in the state. Keep signing up, John. You'll win at some point. You too, Mitchell.
Yeah, don't feel bad. Me and Lyle never win anything.
No,
I
sir.
don't either.
That's
That's right.
That is correct. If our schedules would line up to provide the opportunity, I would like to take Ron out on the boat here in Memphis. He maybe drum up an article about Asian carp, Mid-South outdoor life. That's a great idea.
That's Quentin.
Quentin, yes, sir.
Yeah, I actually Quentin made me that offer. Yeah, I told him we could do that sometime.
Yeah, Quentin would be a great guy to get on the boat with. Lots of room on his boat too.
Yeah. Big T Fish. Big T Fishing wants to know, when writing, do you get to test the products first?
Say that again, Doc.
It said, when writing, do you get to test the products first?
Well, sometimes, but not that often. Usually when I'm writing a story, the products that angler I'm writing about are going to be the products that are mentioned in the story.
Yeah.
It's just the way I've always done that. Obviously we have sponsors. You guys have sponsors. In fact, I had one guy tell me that our magazine was a B&M Pose magazine. Well, it just don't work that way. I mean, B&M is one of our sponsors, and boy, do I appreciate what they do for us, because they help us bring that magazine to the readers for free. So everybody's getting a benefit from that. But anyway, no, that not necessarily. Now, I have had people send me products or maybe be at a show and they say, would you review this? And I will at times review them. It's an opportunity you get as an outdoor writer, I'll say that.
Cliff Miller, I have seen you win, Lyle. You haven't seen you win in any drawing that I can remember. Cindy's won a couple of times in some drawings, but I don't remember Not on our show, no.
They won't let me.
She won an anchor down at the Mississippi River Monsters on Ohio, and the next year or 2 years later, she won some Monster Rhino.
And I want a sweatshirt on mine.
Yep, she won sweatshirts stuff like that. But a tournament. Well, that's not quite the same thing. Yeah, we are due for. We haven't won a tournament in a while. We have a fish tournament quite a while.
Glenn has a comment. Ron, you do such a great job with Catfish Now. Your dedication to the publication is fantastic.
I would agree with that.
Well, I appreciate those kind words. You know, it's sort of a labor of love. I enjoy what I'm doing, and I enjoy the fact. Well, I mentioned before, starting off and right. Well, I started writing as a saltwater writer. Everything I did was saltwater because I had a background as a saltwater fishing guide. And TJ Stallings, rest his soul, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for TJ, because he kind of got me into writing about crappie. And then one day I saw TJ fishing on the Mississippi River. I saw something about him fishing on the Mississippi River with Larry Muse. And oh man, look at those fish they're catching down there. I thought, that might be something I'd like to do. And when you told TJ there was something you might like to do, it wasn't going to be long till you was probably going to be doing it. So he set me up, and I fished on Wilson that first time. We caught about a 20-pound fish, and I thought, my gosh, that's a big fish. And Larry Muse was so disappointed on the size of that fish, I couldn't believe it. It was awful big to me, but he didn't think it was, too much. But so it kind of went on from there, and got to following some of the tournaments and just meeting people. And, we've got a great community. The catfish community is just awesome. So it makes it kind of easy to work with.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, I like your tagline. Fish with passion.
Fish with passion. I picked that up when, like I mentioned, I used to be saltwater writer. I've written a couple of books on saltwater fishing. And when you'd go to the shows and things, people would want your autograph if you sold them a book. And so I had to come up with something. I come up with that as a way to sign those books, and it just sort of stuck with me. And that's just my tagline now.
Yep, we got warnings out for weather warnings, but it's for south of me, so it doesn't matter. No one.
Still perfect. Wants to see one in the chat. Still get the size of the rack wheel. That's different, isn't it?
That's different.
Yeah, that's different. Oh, okay. I just saw it. No, Joe, that's different. You can go ahead and sign up for the RigRap wheel.
Yeah, any special prizes that we have. Every once in a while we get a big prize to give away, and that is completely different than our prize wheel stuff. Completely different. Well, Ron, thank you so much for coming on our show tonight and visiting with us about ICAST. I think it's a world opportunity missed by a bunch of people in the catfish industry. We really appreciate you explaining how it works and all the things that go on, and keep things running smooth like they are with Catfish Now magazine.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Lyle, in the first place. And just let me give everybody a little heads up on the next issue of Catfish Now. We're usually targeting the 15th of the month to come out. We're running just a little bit late this time, so it's not out yet. The July issue is going to be our Cat Women issue. It was a very popular issue last year, and I hope it is this year, but it's dedicated to the ladies of the sport. So
nice.
Be looking for that. Actually, go to catfishnow.com and subscribe, and you get a notice as soon as that comes out. And like us on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Thanks to all our sponsors who help us bring that magazine to everybody for free.
Now that's the great part about it. There's some quality information and some really fine articles, and it doesn't cost you a penny. All you have to do is sign up for it.
That's it. And you don't even have to do that, but we sure do appreciate it if you do. We always post links on Facebook and whatever.
Yep.
Well, some people may not realize if at the back end of that magazine every month are all the previous month's tournament. If I hear people asking, where can I find tournament results? Well, they're in the back of that issue is schedules and tournament results. So if you're looking for a tournament to fish, pull up Catfish Now and look back here in the back and see what's coming up.
Yep, that's awesome, and I've seen that, and it's very well done, and we're all happy to be a part of it. So, outstanding. Well, thanks again, Ron, and you and Karen, be careful in Florida. Enjoy all that hot weather, and we'll be seeing you at probably at Mississippi River Monsters before long.
I hope so. It's getting to be the hurricane season now, so we may be running out earlier than we want. Who knows?
Be careful down there.
All right. Good night, all.
Good night.
Thanks again, Ron.
All righty, Doc. How about some tournament results? I didn't get any this week. Nobody sent them to me, so I don't have any.
The only one I've got is Ohio Hills Catfish Club Eureka tournament. It was an open, and first place was Chris and Chris with 56.4 pounds. Neil and Mike had 39.1 pound, and they also had the big fish, which was a 21.75 pound fish. And Janet and Bink Fox were third with 30.3 pounds, and Todd, Josh, Adam, and Shiloh were in fourth with 23.8, and Tom, Kenny, and Gabe. And Tom and Kenny is who runs the Ohio Hills Catfish Club now. And they were in fifth with 23.5.
Outstanding. Well, we don't want to forget, again, to congratulate Bradley Young and his partners for winning the Cat Chasers tournament over in St. Joe, Missouri. That was a huge win over there with a great payout. 168 votes, but I didn't get the results. No one sent them to me. So, like I say, I know that Bradley won that. I know that for a fact, but other than that, I can't tell you what the other places was. I know that Joe Roberts and Jackson Van Leer placed.
Brad Kilpatrick.
Yeah, he placed.
He was
something, and but yeah,
Boomer and Brian Saunders were in third.
Yeah, it seems that's right too. Yeah, I just, like I say, they didn't send them, and we've been through this before. We're glad to announce any of them, but we don't have time to go through and dig them all up. If you guys want them announced, all you have to do is email them or send them us on Catfish Weekly or catfishweekly.com, and however you want to do it, but they've got to be sent to us somewhere along the line, because we just don't have time to go check them all out and try to copy and paste and print out all the results, because that's usually what I do. I usually print them all out. That way I can just go from one page to the next and I don't forget or lose anything.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I understood it was very hard, very tough conditions, and really, really foggy over there. So I know some guys drove a long way, and it was very refreshing to see Josh and Trevor drive all the way up from Alabama. So many of us drive to Alabama and Memphis and different places, Owensboro, throughout the United States, fish these big tournaments, and to have some of them actually come up and fish some in the Midwest, like Larry Muse did a few months ago with us. It's very refreshing to see those guys spend their time and money, because I promise you, there's no fish in them lakes like in these rivers. I don't care what they say.
Catfish Weekly said you're going to be the July centerfold.
Well, what?
I don't know.
I don't know what they're talking about. I ain't gonna be the centerfold of nothing. Yeah. What happened to our back wall?
Rod spinning.
I got rods spinning. They're drying. Where the finish is wet, I can't put any banners up. Wearing nothing but a catfish. That'll be the day. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that.
No, But the boats on display would look good.
Boats on display. I have a beautiful boat sitting outside that's going to be on display. Doc, I talked to Cindy about this earlier. If I get the live well and everything hooked up, I'm trying to decide if I know how to use my phone and do a show from the boat on the lake once I get to show everybody how good the live well and everything works. I just don't know if I know how to do that or not, but I might give it a try ahead of time. And if we get everything hooked up and done, to see if we can make that happen, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yep, that would be.
That'd be something we haven't done. How about Doc's tip of the week?
Doc's tip of the week. For most everybody, this is a sugar container. Used to have sugar, no longer has sugar in it. But I use these to store stuff on my boat. They keep everything waterproofed. This one's got my whisker sticks inside of it. I've got all my whisker sticks in there. You can label the top of the lid, and it tells you what's in there. And I use these for keeping my lead weights in. I use them for keeping bobbers in, just miscellaneous stuff. These things stack up real nice. They don't go flying all over the boat, especially when you got the lead weights on them. They stay right there. So real handy. Everybody uses these. You know, you use sugar coffee cans or same way, plastic coffee cans. They're a little bit taller, but I kind of lean towards the Domino sugar because it's got that little hand thing here that you can grab a hold of. But that's Doc's tip for the night. And the other thing that you can use, these are perfect for holding a roll of toilet paper. So, and it keeps it good and dry.
You think somebody would need one of them on a boat?
Everybody needs toilet paper on a boat.
Oh, okay. Just checking. But you're right. Everybody should have some on the boat.
Yeah, you don't ever know when your eyes start to water.
That's exactly right. Now, we keep those, and we've got sinkers in them, and I try to separate those out. And you're right. When them sinkers are in them, they don't go nowhere. One of the things that has happened to me is the lids have blowed off going down the road or down the water or whatever. The ones that has the sinkers in them, and I did drill a couple of holes in the bottom of them so the water could get out.
Right.
Yeah, but that's why I like to use the sugar ones, because that lid does not come off. It stays right on there. It's locked on.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But yeah, that was Doc's tip for the night.
Brian, we have a 2018 Alumacraft Trophy 205 with a 250 SHO Yamaha on it. Hmm? And we like it a lot. Just chum away. I know a guy that does that on another, a different format. There's videos of that actually out. So it worked out really well. We will keep you posted. I have scheduled for Dustin Fall to be on the show with us next week to talk about rod rats and live wells and different things. I'm going to make a call to make sure on a date with another guy. He'll either be on next week or the week after, one or the other. But we have some other things coming up that I had actually. I thought it was another month away, that it's not, but I'll check on that and let everybody know this week what we're going to do. And we'll let everybody know. Stinker storage device. That's a great idea, Glenn.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking for other stuff in there. Your mail one.
Yeah.
You guys a trip.
Some of that stuff them guys are talking about, trying to separate one from the other, that's not good for business. Angler Quest boat. I do not know of anyone that has an Angler Quest boat. Do you, Doc?
No.
Spin once more. Let's just do that, Doc.
All right.
Cindy, give me a number.
1
I
It's
love
your lucky
one.
number.
It is my lucky number. I don't win. Who's your cat man?
What?
Who's your cat man? We're not hard to convince when people want to spend.
Catfish?
Catfish Now magazine. Contact
There we go.
Ron Presley. He will do a article on you for the magazine, and it will be a lot of fun, I promise you. So, who's your cat man? Be sure to contact Ron. He is on Facebook. You can contact him at any time. There was one thing that I wanted to do before we go, Doc. As soon as I find it here, and it wasn't mentioned in chat, but I'm looking for something specific. Kentucky Catman. A lot of us see him in here every week. And for those of you that didn't know, he was doing some live filming catfishing here not very long ago and had a heart attack. I didn't know it, but I am glad to find out that he is okay. Chest pain is real. I'm sure that it is.
Yeah.
We're so glad that you are okay and doing better. It's a, you know, I used to fish by myself a lot. It's very quiet, relaxing. I enjoyed it. But as I have gotten older and don't get around as well as I used to do, my kids and wife does not want me fishing by myself, although I think I would still enjoy it. But it's, I wonder, Doc, if it isn't a smarter idea when you get to be our age to have somebody in the boat with you, because you don't know when something's going to happen.
Yeah. And I do fish by myself a lot. The one thing I do is I have my life vest on, and if I'm fishing by myself, I call Lynn every hour. She wants me just to, call her every hour just to make sure everything's okay. And if I don't call, she's going to come on the look at me.
That's bless her heart. That's a good idea. Northeast Kansas fisherman. That hummingbird box back there is for a Helix 12 side down imaging. It's on the boat. It is by far, and I've had several brands and a lot of different ones, the best unit I've ever touched. I know some other people have talked about different ones. I've not had a hold of the Solix yet, so I can't be the judge of that, but it is heads and tails better imaging than anything I have ever seen, and I mean not just a little bit, my whole lot. And it's simple, very simple to operate. Then again, I am a little biased because I've been operating hummingbirds my whole life, so there's not a big change from the old ones to the new ones on how they operate. Some of the other companies, it's a major deal, try to figure stuff out, and I might be too old to figure that stuff out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been running Lowrance ever since they had the little green box.
And you can make them dance, man.
Yeah, and but I do like the hummingbird stuff.
I like the imaging on this one. It's extremely clear. Like I say, we've had them for a long time, and the settings that you change on them today are the same settings you changed on them 20 years ago almost. They're very little difference in how you change settings and what the settings do and different stuff. And I like them, but I mean, I've never seen anything reasonably close to the imagery that it puts out. It's just really clear, bright. And but I think every year, Doc, and it doesn't matter if it's Lowrance or Humminbird or if it's one of the saltwater brands, I don't think, or Garmin. I think every year they gain so much technology that it's that much better than the year before, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and it's like this. It's like one of these phones. These phones change.
Yep.
Every 6 months, and the electronics are the same way. You buy them in 6 months, they're outdated. That's the way technology goes. Sometimes it's, back when you and I first started fishing, all we had was 2D, and you found a hole, and then you stayed on that hole. And one of the things I was talking to a guy the other night about, the way we used to fish. Everybody'd go out, win a tournament, everybody take off down the river, and somebody would anchor down. Well, if you were near their hole, what they called it was stacking, and a boat would anchor down, and then another boat would pull in front of him. He'd anchor down. Another boat pull in front of him. He anchored down. Well, you got all these baits, and all the scent is going down river. If you were the lucky guy and was the last boat to end up, usually you ended up with the fish. Yeah. So
Mickey Holland has about the best answer for all that. It will be outdated in 6 months anyhow. There's
exactly.
That's just like it's no different with laptops or PCs or Hummingbirds or Rants as is it, Doc phones. By the time you get it home, there's something new already out, made what you got obsolete.
Yeah. So, I mean, my electronics, I think they're 4 or 5 years old now, and I've got Gen 2s, Gen 2 touches. Now I know Lawrence has got the Gen 3s, and then they got the carbons, and I don't know what else is coming out yet.
Tell them next year will be something else from both of them probably. But
yeah. And then I saw where Bill was talking about at ICAST about Garmin's got something new. I haven't looked into that.
I've seen it. I've watched some videos on it. You can actually see the fish moving.
Oh, wow. So
yeah.
It's like a camera in the water.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, good luck with that on the Mississippi and the Ohio.
That's the
and
thing.
the Missouri, most of the time they're so muddy.
And the current is so great. You get so much turbulent interference, but the muddy part of it affects it a lot worse than anything, especially on the Mississippi and Missouri. Hell, I've seen days when we was down in Owensboro, Doc, you could see in the water 3 or 4 foot. You ain't gonna do that on the big rivers up here.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. I mean, but Garmin won best of show at ICAST. So
that's right. That's right.
I just I don't know. It's I'm pretty much sold on what I got. So we'll just have to see. But I would like to see that Panoptics is what they call it, Doc, and
yeah,
they're really bragging her up. Arch
we'll have to see what it comes up with.
Yep, I still have a 998 and 1198 on our other boat. So,
well, I've got the Simrad on one side. I got the Lowrance 12 on the other side, and in the back, I've got the Lowrance 111 color hard drive, and that's an old unit.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I understand. Well, Doc, it's been a great show. We learned a lot about ICAST, and a lot of people. I think that the catfish industry is missing out by not making a bigger impact on some of these venues like ICAST. I think there's a lot of things that people could do that are selling products, are looking to buy new products. I think that's where you should be going to figure all this out. And I forgot how many different countries was represented, but it is a huge event. If you're in the market to sell or resell things, you probably ought to be there, because a lot of the stuff like the hook manufacturers and different things, it's not just about catfishing or anything, because a lot of them use the same circle hooks or the same J hooks or the same this or that. So I think the catfishing is a little bit behind on the ICAST part of it. And if everything works out to where we can, we're going to try to make that next year ourselves. So we'll see how that goes. Are you moving, Doc, or are you just sitting?
No, I'm sitting there looking at the chat. Sorry about that.
Anything new going on in there?
No. Nope. Appreciate everybody being on the show tonight with us. It was great having Ron on here.
Absolutely. He's a wealth of information, does a lot of good things for the sport. Jeremy Beecham, you are very welcome. We enjoy doing this so much. If it wasn't for the fact that you guys watch us every week, that we get all the likes and subscriptions and people sharing our shows and stuff with everybody, we probably wouldn't do it. But as long as as you guys keep wanting to see the show, we're going to keep doing it. We really enjoy it, and it is a ton of fun for us to do the live events and different things. So we try to keep it as fresh and as good as we can. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it very much. Listen, till next Monday night, this is Lyle Stokes for Doc Lang and Cindy Stokes. We'll see you then. Catfish Weekly, 7 Central.